Have you recently inherited land?
You might be sitting on a development opportunity and you don't even know it. Today, we're talking to the accidental developer.
So we've recently had a client that inherited some land and he was looking at a couple options, whether to sell the property that he inherited or do multiple units on. We've given him some advice, and obviously this is not financial advice, but this is sort of a general perspective, what suited well for our client. So ultimately it was a block with a 2-bedroom house on it, needed some work on it. But we were in a position where we could potentially knock down the house and put 3 units on that block. One thing that really worked well for our client was the fact that he was looking at doing a potential scenario where he would sell that block or that house that he inherited, buy a new investment with that money. The negative about that would be that we sort of highlighted to him was that he was going to sell a house and get that cash, buy a new property, pay stamp duty, right? So you're paying another tax in that regards for pretty much the same scenario. You're getting an investment property. Yes, it's going to be newer. It's probably a better rental per week coming in, but still you're paying a large portion of stamp duty. So we proposed to him, look, let's look at this scenario where we could potentially put 3 houses on. The beauty about that is that you've now incurred yet 3 houses. You haven't paid stamp duties on these houses. You will pay open space contribution fees, and there are fees that you need to take into consideration. Yes, we agree with that. But all of a sudden, he sells one property and he can reduce some of his debt, and he's still got 2 properties. So the positive in his situation was he doesn't go and spend 5.5%, whatever it is, percent in stamp duties when he goes and buys that new property. So in this instance here, it worked out better for him to keep it, to develop it, and if he needs to, he can always sell one property to reduce the construction debt on that, and it'll be a positive geared properties in the long run.
And look, we understand if you're inheriting property and you've never developed property before, it can seem very stressful, it can seem very risky. But what you do have to look at is if you're inheriting a property and wanting to sell it straight away, what value are you leaving behind? So are you selling the true value of the home or the property to someone else to make money? Or are you wanting to fully unlock that value and take that value and that extra money you can earn for yourself and for your family? So that's something that you really need to ask yourself. And there are companies like ISubdivide that take you through from beginning to end so that you can have support and have a great team around you to help you through your process. And it's always important to learn and understand the process before you say a hard no to developing, because it's too much work. It's about really understanding what you've got and what you're very lucky to have as well, because a lot of people, especially in Victoria, would love to buy property right now, to develop it and to make money and to help their families. So if you've been lucky enough to inherit something, you've got to think about at least making the most of it and understanding what is the true value. That's the first step. The first step is understanding what can be done on this site. So if there is 1 home on the site, can you, demolish that house and put 3? Can you fit 1 or 2 at the back? So that's a little bit less risky because you can continue getting rent from the front during, your construction phase. So it's about understanding the potential first before you're that quick to sell it and hand it over.
Yeah.
So the very first step you would take in understanding what's possible on your site is getting a site assessment completed. At ISubdivide, we do a full site assessment, which lets you know what is possible on the site, how many units you can fit, how many bedrooms in each, We go through all zoning overlays, just to tick all your boxes to ensure your due diligence is done, to make sure that there is nothing that might prevent you from developing. And then in that site assessment, you'll also get a price for us to obtain your town planning and subdivision permits. And we also let you know about third-party fees. So that's just a little something, a little report that can prepare you to make a decision on whether you want to develop this property or not, and if it's worth it for you or not.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of practical options that you can look at. And once you get a site assessment, you'll be able to see, can you do a 2-lot subdivision? Can you build in the backyard? There have been a lot of recent changes to Victorian planning to make things easier for developers, and that's something that we will walk you through in your assessment. So, for example, now there are different rules in terms of your setbacks, your height restrictions, the materials you put on your facade. Everything has changed recently over the last year, and there are a lot of great positive changes that actually help developers. And this is also something that we can talk you through when you get an assessment, so that you fully understand completely, what you can and can't do, what your options are, and how the latest Victorian changes help you save money during an application as well. Because especially the 2-lot subdivisions, most recently, if you're thinking this is going to be an extremely lengthy process to get permits before I sell, well, 2-lot subdivisions at the moment, if you apply through a VicSmart application and you comply, you can get a permit within 10 days and save thousands on the council application fee. So that's another thing that we can look at when doing your site assessment. Are you eligible, and are you able to apply through a VicSmart application?
Yeah. And the other thing too, just adding on to what Beck said, if you're in a situation where you've inherited land, and let's say we're in a position where we could keep the existing house and add something at the backyard, going retracking to what our client was thinking about, like selling that house and then buying a newer, established house. If you had a situation where you could keep the existing house, do a light reno, build something at the backyard, you would potentially then subdivide the two. You sell the existing house and you'll have a brand new home, most likely unencumbered, right? No debt. So the benefit there is you don't go and buy another property, because you're just wasting stamp duty for no reason. You're just giving money to the state government for no reason. So these situations, a lot of people don't think about, but there's big benefits from doing what we're suggesting here. And again, this is not financial advice. Everyone's, seek your own financial advice. But what we're saying is a simple process to get ahead in this climate where housing crisis, owning homes are very difficult. It's not simple. Your wages have to be at a certain level to get, borrowing capacities now. So it's only going to get harder, most likely. We can't predict the future, but most likely it will get harder, and our kids and our grandkids will have, even harder times to buy property potentially in this country. So prepare for that. Think of the future ahead. Bricks and mortar in this country has always worked well for many. And if history repeats itself, as it generally does, bricks and mortar will continue to do well moving forward.
So there you have it, guys. If you do want to purchase a site assessment to see what potential your land has, please look at the link below. You can click on it and order one for $195, and we complete the site assessment within 7 working days. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.